How excited were you that your former national coach, Louis van Gaal, came in?
Very excited, because I was up until that moment I was still working with him because the World Cup still had to happen, and I had two, it's like part time, but it's intense. It's like every 6 weeks we came together for the national team, and it was very, very intense. Louis is very intense, as you know now. But he's a genius, in the way he sees games tactically, the way he trains. He's a genius at that. Ruthless as well, which I knew because I knew him quite well. I was his captain with the national team. That year I did struggle at times with 2 injuries. With just it didn't really go my way. I scored in the end, I think 9 goals, which is not enough. If you're a Manchester United striker, you have to score at least 20. So that didn't happen. Sometimes we were unlucky with some balls, some games, but okay. In the end, you earn your own luck. So that is not the excuse either. It just didn't work out with that connection, and I didn't expect that, if I'm really honest, because I was, when he announced that he was coming, obviously I knew a little bit here and there. I heard some stuff. I was really excited. I thought, oof, okay, hang on, now maybe we can really come back. But it didn't happen, which is a shame for him, a shame for us. But it was a very tough year for most players, and for Louis.
The thing is, though, Robin, so many players post United in the last few years have said that year under Louis van Gaal they learned more than anybody else. I think Wayne Rooney said that. So why do you think it didn't click in that year? Was it just adjusting to maybe his tactics and the way things were?
Yeah, tactically, I think he's a genius. He tells you before every game how the game will end up, and most times it will actually end up that way, which is very special. But as well, it's like Ferguson, in my opinion, you have like different type of managers. You have a manager, which is in the last phase of his career, maybe more than before. But Ferguson was managing. He was making sure that 27 players and the staff and the kitchen lady and the kit man, that everyone is happy, that everyone is at the same page. Fergie was making sure of that, and then you have like a type of, but Fergie's main thing was to keep everyone happy. Ferguson kept Ando happy as well. Ando sometimes can be in his own world. He's like a free bird. You know what I mean? He wants to be free. He wants to dance. He wants to sing. He wants to do this. He wants to do that, which is fine. But Fergie accepted that, and he let him be himself. And he let him freeze sometimes. And he let him make maybe sometimes a little bit of a bad joke, whatever. It's fine. So Fergie accepted everyone for the person he was, and made sure that everyone was on the same page. But mainly everyone was happy. And then you have like a trainer, like Louis van Gaal, for example. He's like a trainer coach. He's not really managing the English style. Mm-hmm. Like Fergie wasn't really training us every day. He had Medestein for that, and he had assistant coach for that. And Louis was actually training us, and he was like training us tactically. And you always have to look at your team, because every team is different. And we had Falcao, for example. We had Di Maria. Di Maria is, in my opinion, one of the best players I played with. You had me. You had Wayne. You had like free birds, players who want to express themselves, players who are not really like into, who don't really want to be in a strict structure, And Louis did do that. He said, listen, you have to play my way. This is my philosophy. You have to do it, which is just right. But that didn't really click, in my opinion, with all the players, because some players had difficulties with accepting that they could not really be free, And I had difficulties as well with that, if I'm really honest, because at the national team, I did have to fight hard for it. I did have to work hard for it, but I did get it. I did get my freedom in the team, and that was very important for me. And the way I see it, the way I look at it now, is that a couple of other players wanted that as well, and he didn't give it to them, that kind of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And that was tough to take, you know. And then if you're not on that same page, you know, if you if I talk for myself, it's easier to talk for myself, you know. Like little things, you know. I was like, because I was taking his penalties for the national team for 2 years. I didn't miss one penalty. Then I come to Manchester. He has this new rule, because at Manchester I was taking them as well. Or it was me, or it was Wayne. Okay, so that is how it ended up. I was happy with that. Wayne was happy with that. And then Louis changed his rule to do like a practice penalty shooting before every game. Robin was so the one who took it before takes it at first. And then if you miss, you will be number 5 in that as a penalty taker. So I was like, okay, so if I miss once in training, I can't take the penalty anymore then? I said, no, I don't agree, Louis. I said, sorry, man. I said, I've been taking penalties for you. I never missed. And then you come with this rule? I said, no. I said, sorry. I said, I don't agree. I said, he said, no. He said, because I want to make you feel like with the game stress and the game tension. He said, yeah, okay, but if I miss one penalty in training, it is a bit harsh on me that I'm the number 5 on the list. I said,
yeah, not even number 2, straight to number 5.
To number 5.
Mata took them for Louis, didn't he? I think for a while.
Yeah, later on. So after a couple of weeks, we did this again, and then I missed it. I missed it in training, and I looked at him. I said, trust me. I said, I will take it tomorrow if you get a penalty. He said, whatever you say. He said, we will see about that. We will see about that. And then we actually got a penalty. And I took it, and I did score. He said, okay, this is the last time. But stuff like that, it's like he was handling that differently. And it's not really, it sort of depends on the players, you know. Some players would go well on that, some players wouldn't. And I didn't really get what the difference was from my point of view then. It's always easy to talk from my point of view, is that I worked with him for 2 years, and I didn't get that he was behaving differently towards me at Manchester United. I didn't get that because in the basics, he is the coach of a team. You know, okay, national team is different, it's a slightly different situation, but in the basics, I didn't really get that. And afterwards, he told me that there is a difference in Louis van Gaal as a club coach or as a national team coach. I didn't really get that. I told him that as well. But yeah, you know, at the other hand, I didn't really blame him for a long time. You know, that is as well part of how it goes. And I had 2 fantastic years with him. A difficult year at Manchester United with a bit sore ending, but that's part of life as well. And I, when I played my last game for Feyenoord, I called him up and I told him, I said, listen, it would be great if you would be there at my last game. We had some great moments together. Yes, we did have some bad moments together or painful at some times. I said, but this is how I see you. And then I made like a roundup of how I saw him as a person, as a coach. And in the end, it is very positive. Yeah, we did go through a lot together in those intense 3 years. But I still respect him. I still highly rate him as a coach. And as a person, he's special, yes. But even as a person, I do like him, you know, because he's very clear. He has one of his best qualities was that he was so clear, you know. It's just with me, is that with that freedom, he didn't give me that freedom I wanted at Manchester United. Maybe he was right, I don't know. But from my point of view, this is from my point of view, I would like to have more freedom there. but the coach chooses always 1, 2, or 3 players who he gives that kind of freedom.
Well, if
and that
leaving,
is his decision.
yeah.
No, go
Well,
on,
if,
sorry.
I was going to say, if leaving the club was perhaps not perfect, but we know you left at the very least in a very polite fashion, because our producer was at the training ground the day you left and he saw you shaking hands saying thank you for everything, goodbye to people in reception. What about your return? Because it's definitely the first, and it may be, I would bet money, the last time that an opposition player scores at Old Trafford and is cheered by Manchester United fans. What was that like?
Yeah, that was fantastic with Fenerbahce. We had absolutely no chance in that game. It was 4-0, I think towards the end of the game, 86th minute or something. Cross from the left side and an easy tap in. But it was just a very special moment. They were very positive throughout that whole game. You know, they were cheering me on, and it was all very friendly. You know, it gave me a really good feeling and goosebumps. I was like, oh, this is nice. This is one I will never forget. Yeah, you know, Old Trafford, almost 80,000 people cheering you on like that in that way. That was, I felt a lot of love there. Yeah.
It's not happening now, obviously, but how do you feel when? Do people tell you when your name is being sung? Because obviously that still happens so regularly.
Really?
You didn't know that?
I didn't notice it. No.
That still happens. Yeah, very regularly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I do hear some fans, yeah. But even my song, yeah? Wow.
Your song is still sung very regularly.
Great song.